Illumination is too scared to make a horror movie. So let's take these 3 movie posters and make them into horror, starting with Despicable Me. The idea for this one is that Gru has had enough of the minions. First thing first, we gotta erase Gru and his daughters. But don't worry, we're gonna bring Gru right back. Let's select his body from the first image and make sure we get rid of his arm and head. Now we can cut out legs and place them under his body, and I'm also manually cutting out his face from another image and placing it on top. It's got that perfect angry and mean expression, but we still have some more assembling to do. I got this 3D prosthetic hand, and I promise it will make sense in a minute. Let's erase the plastic part and color match it to Gru's face. Then I'm gonna paint a sleeve for the arm by sampling colors from his coat, and I'm even adding some grain for texture.
Nice job, team.
Now let's add another arm, but he's gonna need a weapon. So I got this 3D gun, and I know this doesn't look anything like his actual gun, but we can just assemble a bunch of 3D assets together to make it work.
Woo! Yeah!
Now for the actual horror, I'm painting a laser beam in 2 parts going through the minion. Let's also paint a highlight in the center and give it some blur. I found this disgusting image, and that's just perfect to mask inside of the goggles. And I'm gonna paint back some of these nerves falling out. But that means the lens of the goggles is broken, so I'm putting this broken glass image inside of them before importing a 3D eye. Yep, I didn't forget about it. I'm gonna position it at the end of the nerves and even cut out a part to attach it to the eye. Let's just paint some shadows on the side to make it more realistic, and now we can bring back the other part of the laser and give it highlights as well. But lasers are light sources, which means we need some highlights on everything near the beam, as well as some glow. And to make it look just a little bit more dynamic, I'm adding pieces of glass flying out with some motion blur. And since the title is already pretty fitting, I decided to leave it as is. But I would love to hear your ideas in the comments. Next up is migration. And this poster got me thinking. Gru has minions to do all the annoying work for him, and when you're shopping online, Coopert basically does the same thing. Coopert is a free browser extension that helps you save money when shopping online, and they're the sponsor of today's video. The way it works is, instead of opening up like 37 tabs looking for coupons on random websites, Coopert does it for you, like your own personal minion. When I'm making posters, I usually sketch them in my notebook beforehand, but I'm very particular with my stationery and I really like these Japanese pencils. The problem is, they're very expensive here. So before checkout, I checked Coopert, and it showed me that the same pencil was cheaper on another website. Then Coopert tested available coupons and found an extra 1.10 pounds off. Overall, I saved 3.38 euros on this beautiful mechanical pencil. Which is great because I clearly need to save money. Did you notice I bought a new mic? So before checkout, check Coopert. Click the link in my description and install it for free. Thanks Coopert for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to ruining Illumination movies. And there's this cool poster where they're surrounded by plastic ducks, which I think we can make pretty creepy. First up, I'm selecting the main character and painting them black, so that they're actually easier to remove. I'm gonna cut out a bunch of plastic yellow ducks and I'm placing them on top of the family. I need to refine the mask for the duck to blend better, and I'm also gonna make them a bit brighter to match the rest of the toy ducks. Now I just need to do this a few more times. But we do need to bring back the characters at some point. So I'm cutting out a wing from another poster, masking it behind some duckies, and painting a shadow. But this doesn't look creepy on its own, so I'm giving it some tomato sauce and doing the same thing to his leg. And because you can never have too much ketchup, I'm slathering it all over the place. But we still don't have a villain, which is a problem, so I'm gonna import this nice 3D duck and steal the sunglasses from the original one. A plastic duck sitting on top wouldn't be much of a villain, except if we give it the Terminator treatment.
Hasta la vista, baby.
So first I'm making a hole in his face and placing a robot dog inside.
What?
I have these nice metal pieces that I'll assemble into an eye before adding light into it. But the light is gonna need to be red if we want him to look evil, and let's also add some wires coming out of it. And of course, it needs some contact shadows. If the wires are cut, we definitely need some sparkles flying around. And I'm also adding a nice flare on top of the eye that I need to make red as well. Okay, but the Terminator dog looks like he's floating on top, so we gotta paint some shadows underneath him.
Nice.
And I'm also darkening the background behind him so he stands out even more. Now all we need is a title, and migration doesn't really make sense anymore. So instead we should call it Annihilation, or at least that's the best I got, but if you have any idea, tell me in the comments. I'm just gonna emulate the style of the original title by painting brighter and darker spots and using layer style. So this is the horror version of Migration. Our final poster is Minions and Monsters. And I know that's the one we've all been waiting for. Let's import the original poster in Photoshop because I'm gonna be using it as a base. I'm taking this cartoonish 3D skeleton and cutting out the ribcage. Since my idea for this poster is that the red goo is dissolving the minion, I'm gonna warp the hell out of that ribcage to make it fit our minion. But something falls off, and by looking at these references of minion skeleton, I'm able to figure out that there are too many ribs. So I'm gonna duplicate the bottom rib and then erase the original before moving it up. But that's only the first part of the skeleton, so let's cut out the pelvis and fit it onto the minion. And of course, we gotta color match it to the rest of the bones. Now it's pretty much the same process for the rest of the body. I found a tree skull that I need to warp a lot in order to fit a minion set, but the problem is minions only have one eye. So let me get rid of the eye sockets and draw a new singular one. And obviously we're color matching it to the rest of the skeleton as well.
Nice.
So now we have to mask part of the original minion to reveal the skeleton. I'm erasing most of it using contemporary fill, and then I'm adding back the skeleton on top of it, but also blending it into the red goo. I'm drawing some shadows, some reflections, and even adding bubbles inside of the goo. But the eyes of the monster have been bothering me for a while, because they just look too friendly. So I'm gonna erase all of them and redraw them with sharper vertical pupils. And to finish these eyes off, I'm importing a bloodshot texture, making it round and applying it on every eyeball. Now all we need is title, and I'll generate a word in the same font so that I can change the name to Minions and Murder. If you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love to see me turn Pixar movie posters into horror in that one.